Hi loves, Dionysia here. Wanted to take some time out with you today to share a little story with you. I often get asked by women in my circles or in my groups or even in my coaching clientele, my mentees, how I came to have my name. And I love telling that story because it is such a potent story for me personally in my personal world and in the path that I have walked since I received it. And it's pertinent today, and I wanted to share it with you because I received my name the first year that I went to the Glastonbury Goddess Conference. And I thought you might like to hear about that. So, my first year at the Glastonbury Goddess Conference was 15 years ago. And that year was a maiden year. So, every year there's a theme based on either one of the faces of the goddess or one of the stages of womanhood or an element. And that year the maiden was the theme. And so all of the rituals and initiations are all about the maiden self and our relationship to the maiden self. So I signed on. The conference is 7 days, and at the beginning of that, an additional thing that you could tag on was the Tour Labyrinth Walk. And the tour is the sacred hillside there in Glastonbury, and the lore and mythology related to that hillside is truly incredible. It's everything from Jesus and Magdalene to dragons to ley lines to I mean it goes on and on. It's amazing, and truly people of all kinds of faiths and paths in life come to Glastonbury to visit that sacred hill and walk it like pilgrimage. So I did that. I wanted to go on this tour labyrinth walk, and the labyrinth walk is about walking outside. Speaking of outside, I'm sitting in the outside right now, and it is very, very alive here. You might be able to hear all of the things chirping in the trees around me, but also I'm having to watch all the biters. So if you see me flicking away biters, that's what's going on. But anyways, outside at the tour in Glastonbury, it is known among the priestesses there that there is an etheric labyrinth on that hillside. And it's a Cretan labyrinth. And that means that it's a labyrinth that winds back and forth to take the journey, rather than spiraling all the way into the center and then spiraling back out. It's a different kind of labyrinth. So it's not a spiral labyrinth, it's a Cretan labyrinth. And it's said to be three-dimensional. It's known to be three-dimensional, meaning that it is up and down that hillside. And when you do this ritual, when you take this tour labyrinth walk, this ceremony is about walking yourself to the center of that labyrinth, which is, because it's three-dimensional, is said to be related to each one of our chakras. And so the way that you walk it is that you start sort of mid-hill. You climb up to a mid-hill point that's the third chakra level. And you walk all around it at the third chakra level, and then you wind back at the second chakra level, and you go down to the first chakra, and then you go all the way up to the seventh, back down to the sixth and the fifth and the fourth, because at the fourth, where you stop there, is this massive stone, dragon egg, that is the etheric portal entryway into the internal realms of that hillside. So that's how you walk it, and the ritual encourages you to see everything that happens along the journey as being specific for you and your personal chakras. So for example, if you see a hawk flying overhead while you're walking through the third chakra, just in tuning into and intuiting, well, what message is being brought to you by the messenger about your third chakra or about something around your power and your will. If you get down to the first chakra and you see a snake, then what is the serpent saying to you about your first chakra and your groundedness or your kundalini? So it's like that. If you're up in the sixth chakra and you hear somebody singing and those words somehow have meaning to you, like tuning into that, paying attention to it, that's how you do the ritual. It's amazing. So I was doing that, we were doing that, and we had gone down to the first chakra, and we stopped there to have lunch. So we're sitting underneath an apple tree, very Avalonian, on this grassy lawn, looking out over an apple orchard. And there are probably, I don't know, 12 to 15 women in that ceremony. And we were getting our lunches out, and it was an unusually warm day in Glastonbury that day. Now, at that time, it would have been unusual. It's not unusual now. It's heating up in Glastonbury like everywhere else, but at that time, it was unusually warm, so we were stripping layers off. So I had stripped down to just this beautiful flowy skirt that I had on and my hair blowing in the wind, and a lot of us were topless and just enjoying being womanly in this beautiful setting and in this magical place. And one of the women that was with us had brought with her these beautiful bundles of green grapes to share, and she was walking around having everybody tear some off to have. And she came to me, and I'm trying to tear off a little bundle of green grapes, and it wouldn't, nothing I did could tear the stem. It just wouldn't. And she said to me, I think you're meant to take the whole bundle. So I ended up with this massive bundle, like as big as my head, bundle of green grapes. And I'm standing, hair and skirt flowing in the breeze, underneath the apple tree, like the green grape bundle up above my face, plucking them off with my teeth. And a Belgian woman who was there with us said to me, you look like a statue of a Greek goddess standing there. Dionysia, that's who you are. And the woman next to her said, well, Dionysus is the name of the Greek god. And the Belgian woman said, I know, but I just made it a goddess. And the woman who was leading the ritual looked at me and said, have you been looking for a new name? And I said, no, I haven't really, but it's odd. On the plane ride on the way over, I was having this feeling that something was coming to me, some new sound vibration was coming to me, for me. And she said, well, I think you just found it. And I said, yeah. And for me, in that moment, when she called out that name, I was having this experience of feeling like my essence self was vibrating out of me into the space around me. It was this incredible, ecstatic, blissful experience for me. So I spent the rest of the week trying on that name, introducing myself as Dionysia, thinking about Dionysia, thinking about how to spell it, like what would that look like. And when we went to the Dragon Egg and went down in the center, the being that came forward to work with me, you go into the center to meet the Morgans, who are like the high priestesses or the high energy beings of that place. And it was Morgan Le Fay who came to work with me. Or her medicine has been deep, deep, deep for me all of this time. And so that was a really powerful encounter for me. And I could tell you so many stories about that first week in Glastonbury, so many visitations, so many different things that I saw, but to stay with the story of my name right now, I did continue with Dionysia all throughout that week. And, you know, of all of the places that I've traveled, and there have been many, where I am communing with Goddess, communing with other beings, getting signs and messages and all the things, Glastonbury is the only place that I've ever experienced where I hear her talking to me as if there's a woman standing here that's speaking into my ear. It's that loud and that clear and that vocal. It's really amazing. And I love it. It happens every time I go there, and I love it so much. So that was happening, and I was getting all of these downloads, all of this information about what the name actually is. Now, Dionysia, as being associated with Dionysus is known to be the god of wine and revelry, right? And that's true. And any of you who know me or who have ever spent time with me or who've been on retreats with me, you know that that's a true vibration for me. But at a deeper level, at a more esoteric level, Dionysus is the god of rituals of ecstasy and abandon. Now, if you know me or have been on retreat with me or have spent any time with me, you also know that vibration is true about me. So that's the potency of the name, and that's a lot of what the Morgan was talking to me about as I was trying on the name and did I want to really walk with that, what the journey was going to be like for me, what the medicine that name carries is going to be, and how it's going to play out in the world. Like, she was talking to me about it nonstop while I was there. And so I knew taking it on that it was going to be a big walk. It was going to be a powerful journey, and it has been. And every single thing, everything to the word that she told me about the name and how it would play out in my life and in the world has been true. Every bit of it. So it's been a big part of my life. It's been a big part of my world. And I share that with you today to say, you know, that there's real potency in the initiations that happen in that place. It's special. It's unusual. So fast forward 5 or 6 days into the conference, and you know, the last night of the conference is Saturday night, and there's a masquerade ball. It's a goddess gala. It's amazing, and there are a couple of really special things that happen there that are unusual. They don't happen in other balls, but I'm not going to tell you what they are right now because I don't want to spoil it for you. If you ever do go, you don't want to know about it ahead of time. It's really special. But I did that thing, and it has to do with how my name was used, and it was truly like a special, incredible experience. And then the next day, the last day of the conference, Sunday, we take a procession up the high street. So I was going down to meet with the procession and get ready for that, and I was thinking as I was walking along, it feels like the name is not complete. There's some other part of it. And I reached up to this hanging basket of flowers. They bloomed. They're all over the place in Glastonbury at that time of year. And I plucked a petunia, and I went to put it behind my ear, and she said, "It's La Fée." And I was like, of course. So La Fée, as in of the fairies, or in French, of the supernatural, and also of the Morgan. So the story of my name, like I said, I get a lot of people who ask me about it. I'm flicking biters, just so you know. I get a lot of people who ask me about it, and so I thought I'd share that with you, but it's because it's one of the most powerful experiences of my life, and it happened straight out the gate. My very first ritual in Avalon, my very first time being there. And the reason that I share that with you right now is to say that the Avalon itself, but also this goddess conference, is a very, very potent, powerful initiatory portal, and it's intentionally that way. Those priestesses and the rituals that they come up with, they're really, really high initiatory rites, and there's a lot for us there when we step into that. So if you've thought ever about going to Glastonbury or being a part of that conference or any goddess conference, or even if you've never thought about it and now you're hearing me talk about it and you're like, I'm really curious about this, I really want to encourage you to make your way to Glastonbury. If you can come this year with us, that would be amazing. We're going to be doing Dark Mother for 2 days there. It's going to be rest and lay it down and give it to her and be held. And there's so many of us who are needing that with the state of our world for the past few years, right? And then we're going to roll right into that goddess conference with all of its initiatory rituals and portals. So it's a potent, powerful place. If you're thinking about it at all, email me. Let's have a dialogue about it. We can hop on a call about it if you want to. If you're having any concerns or questions or worries or you're not sure, let's talk it out. Let's see if it's a good fit for you. And we can talk about how I would be holding that space and what you can expect about that. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have you. There's still space to join. It would be really, really sweet. The more of us who are there together in this shared language and this shared sisterhood, and for those 2 days of real togetherness before going out into the larger group and experiencing that togetherness, it's going to be so juicy and so yummy and so nourishing and replenishing. So I hope you can make it. I hope you'll reach out to me. Let's get you there. And I send you so much love. Blessed be.